Hello, welcome to the Hat on Head News Cabin. This is the Maine edition coronavirus update. We're going to take a look at what's going on up in Maine, see how things are going up there, if people are affected by the coronavirus. Are Mainers immune to the coronavirus? We're going to find out. Turns out we're not, but it could be. So we're going to take a look here. We're going to go to the Bangor Daily News. This is the finest news outlet of Maine. I had delivered this paper here for a couple years, dude. Wicked hat, dropping the papers on the porches. Now I deliver the news with a hat on my head. It's a little different, but I'm going to read here what's going on. Maine CDC Governor Janet Mills to deliver the press conference. There are now 586 confirmed cases of the coronavirus and 17 deaths in Maine. So as of this point here, April 10th, Friday, so we have 17 that have passed. Quite sad. Take a look at some data here. There we go. So, yeah, it's not looking so good. Now, one thing that we want to look at here is that most of the cases in Maine are down the southern part. 70% of the cases are down here in York and Cumberland County. A lot of people in Maine, to include myself from Bangor, we don't really consider them Maine. That's more Massachusetts. But that is what's going on. It is true here that you see not a lot of coronavirus in Maine as of yet. The social distancing, yeah, people are definitely doing it. I'm going to read here this story here as we're talking about traffic drops 61% on I-95 at the Maine and New Hampshire border amid the pandemic. As stay-at-home orders have been imposed in both Maine and New Hampshire amid the coronavirus pandemic, traffic along I-95 at the state border was 61% lighter in the past week than it had been a year ago, according to Maine Department of Transportation. The data point demonstrates that people have largely adhered to the directives to refrain from unnecessary travel. Maine Center of Disease Control and Prevention Director Nirav Shah said during a press conference, interstate traffic across all of Maine is down about 53%, and rural traffic is down 30 to 40%. These latest statistics from the Department of Transportation are proof positive that when Maine people are asked to stay in for the common and public good, they do so, Shah said. So look at that. Mainers are doing what they're supposed to do. They're sitting there at home, even though up till now there's only been 17 deaths. They are still doing the right thing and staying home, sitting at home, having maybe a fat ass in a glass, which is a classic Maine drink. You should try it out. Or maybe they're having Miller Lights. Either way, it does seem that the Mainers are doing what they're told here, staying home, and we're all scared of the coronavirus. But in rural areas, there's not as much of the social going on, so sometimes the distancing is a little bit easier if you don't really, go out and, mingle like they do in other places. It makes it a little bit easier. I wanted to show you guys the coronavirus update in Maine from the Bangor Daily News, just to switch it up, where I'm always bringing you what's going on in New York City. Up in Maine, you can't get there from here. The coronavirus is attacking, but Mainers are doing all right so far, I think. All right, thanks for joining me here in the news cabin. Keep your hat on your head.